I am not teaching, I am publicly learning. But hi and welcome to Learning for the Life in UK test, part 139, Britain since 1945, the welfare state, while doing shoulder impingement training, and if you participate in the shoulder impingement training, that is a journalist. So, Britain since 1945, so we're referring to the end of the Second Britain. The welfare state. Although the UK had won the war, the country was exhausted economically and the people wanted change. So Britain had, together with the Allied forces, won the Second World War against the Axis. But the country was economically exhausted. I don't think we're going to describe it to us, so I don't know it. But the war had cost a lot of resources and also many people had died. It was economically exhausted. Maybe the country had switched to war economics, but means they were producing weapons and airplanes and ships and bombs and stuff you need in a war and armor and so on, and military vehicles, and not what you need to trade or something like that in normal times and peace times. And the people wanted change. Maybe we're going to explain what that is. During the war, there had been significant reforms to the education system, and people now looked for wider social reforms. So while the war still was running, the education system had many reforms. I don't think they're going to say to us what these are. So what is general knowledge about educational system changes in the United Kingdom in the 1940s? I have no idea. And people now looked for wider social reforms. We had social reforms with pensions and support for mothers after divorce, mothers and their children after divorce and separation, or that people got money if they got injured was, I think, also there, and that housing was improved, and that women and children can work maximum 10 hours, and also more laws was made to make working safer. In 1945, the British people elected a Labour government. We had something here. We had Churchill was a Conservative member of Parliament, and in 1945 he lost the election. In 1951 he returned. In 1945 the British people elected a Labour government. The new Prime Minister was Clement Attlee. So, Winston Churchill lost the election in 1945. He was a Conservative. Now we're saying someone of a Labour government won, and the new Prime Minister was Clement Attlee. So that seems to be because, yes, Britain had won with the war leader Winston Churchill in the Second World War, but they wanted change. They looked for wider social reforms. The country was economically exhausted. Clement Attlee promised to introduce the welfare state outlined in the REG report. We will get a little explanation. So, Clement Attlee promised to introduce the welfare state outlined in the Beveridge report. So there is a Beveridge report. Maybe that is a person, maybe that is a university, and they have written a report about the state of Britain in regard to the sociality. I don't know, something like that must it be. And so to create a welfare state, I think we will get a little explanation of it. In 1948, Enrine Nye Bevan. Is that a full name? Enrine Nye Bevan? Or Enrine Nye Bevan. Anur Nye Bevan, the Minister for Health, led the establishment of a National Health Service, NHS, which guaranteed a minimum standard of healthcare for all, free at the point of use. We're reading on, and when we can look better back what was meant for these things. A national system of benefits was also introduced to provide social security, so that the population would be protected from the cradle to the grave. The government took into public ownership, which means nationalized, the railways, coal mines and gas, water and electricity supplies. That is moderate complicated, but I think very important for the actual life in Britain. So we will, even if we come through with all, make 2 parts out of it. We're doing now the whole shoulder impingement training, and I think we have 4 or 5 minutes left to go over that part, but that part is longer, and we will make 2 parts out of it. It's moderate complex, but it's very important. It's actually important for the actual life in the United Kingdom. We are having the next training a bit more of a shoulder forward part, and we're just doing forward shoulder circuits. And shoulder circuits, forward shoulder circuits are going like that. We're going back of shoulders, up, and down. We're going back, front, and down. And now backward shoulder circuits, we are going and front, back, and down. And you can think of these shoulder circuits if you want, actually as 4-point shoulder circuits. So we're not making a circle, but we're going, actually think of going in front, going up, going back, and going down. Not just a circle, it will end up, because a complete 360-degree circle, really perfect form is not possible. Not as much as we're able to do with scapulars, and we want not to do what we're able with scapulars, we want to get better in what scapulars are doing with shoulder impingement training, which is focused on scapulars, because we have a problem by shoulder impingement. And the second exercise now, we're lifting the arms up, and we're just concentrating on our scapulars, how we are opening up and making room for the humerus. And if this exercise or any other causes pain, then don't do it. Just concentrate on the scapulars. How are they opening up? Are they doing that at all? Or are they protruding in front and blocking the way for the humerus and causing the impingement? Because the shoulder impingement is that the scapula is too much in front. And if you lift now the arm up with the humerus down here, there is no room. And the humerus comes against the scapula. And everything in between, there's running something between the humerus and the scapula, is impinged. And that causes then pain if it happens over and over again. And with that exercise, we're just controlling and developing awareness. The scapula can actually go back, or is anyway further back, and can open up and make room for the humerus, and the humerus can just open up. The scapula is back, and there's nothing impinged. And last time, we're breathing in, and we're just concentrating on what movement the scapulas do. And again down. Now the arms to the side, and we're doing the same. We're just observing and concentrating on what the scapulas are doing. They should go now back, and now we should go around the ribcage. We should always follow the humerus. We should at any point giving a perfect socket of the humerus. Never should they be in the way of the humerus. And we're going back, and the scapulas back over the ribcage, and now we're going around the ribcage again, following the humerus, and we're going back again, and going back together. And the next exercise, we're having the legs sitting wide apart, we're going into the knees, we're hinging forward with a straight back, letting the arms hang, now we're pinching scapulas together. And this is a muscle exercise, so we're pinching them actually active. Now we're making fists, or not, and we're lifting the arms up, and we're pinching the scapulas still. And we're lifting the arms up again, no scapulas. Now, pinch the scapulas again together, a second and final round. Pinch them really together. Now make fists or not, and bring the arms up, and pinch the scapulas together. And release the arms and the scapulas. And now the next exercise, the two shielded turtle training in shed. We're going into the knees a little bit, hinging forward, this time with a round back, letting the arms hang, turning the arms to the inside, that gives less pressure onto the triceps, or the long head of the triceps. And bringing the arms up and together. We're straightening up and we're bringing the shoulders down and together. Bringing the arms high up and together, shoulders down, together. And with effort. The arms high up and together, shoulders down, together. The arms high up and shoulders together. and release. And the second and final round. Hinge forward, very round back, and release a little bit. Turn the arms to the inside. Lift the shoulders high, the arms high up together. Lift it up, and bring the shoulders down. Okay. The arms high up together. Shoulders down. Okay. Arms high up together. Shoulders down. And release. And now, I don't think we have one last exercise, a shrug. We're lifting the arms up. And now we're shrugging the shoulders up. And we're releasing it all again. Okay, lift the arms up. And shrug the shoulders up. And release it all again. And again, lift the arms up. And shrug the shoulders up. And release it all again. And one last time. Lifting the arms up. We're shrugging the shoulders up. And letting it all down again. And now just stretching. One arm in front. Relax the arm as the shoulders stay back. Shoulders down. Down, up, stop. And the other arm in front. Relax the arm, shoulders stay back, and the arms down. Pull it a bit in. Try to relax it down. And we're having 4 minutes, I think, to look what happened. So, someone was voted in, his name was Clement. Clement Attlee was the new Prime Minister. Clement Attlee, we now know 4 Prime Ministers. Sir Robert Burwell, 1721-1742, Wellington, sometime after 1815, and Winston Churchill, 1940 until 1955, but then again from 1951 on. And now, 1955, Clement Attlee. And so, introduced the welfare state outlined in the Beveridge Report. So the Beveridge Report had said something like, hey, that is an idea of a Beveridge state, I guess, something like that. And one idea seems to be, in that report, in 1948, Eugene Nye Bevan, the Minister for Health, led the establishment of a National Health Service (NHS), which guaranteed a minimum standard of health care for all. So there was a Minister for Health, so someone who had as a job to manage how the health is in the United Kingdom. His name was Eugene Nye Bevan, and he established the National Health Service. And National Health Service, as the acronym NHS, National Health Service NHS, and that NHS, that National Health System, introduced by Eugene Nye Bevan in 1948, guaranteed a minimum standard of healthcare for all, free at the point of use. Actually, I think the free at the point of use is an expression which I never heard before. I guess it means it can be directly used free as soon as someone at the point of use, as soon as someone starts to use it, it's free at the point of use. What I want to say is, there's an expression I never heard before. And many people might not understand that expression. Which guaranteed a minimum standard of healthcare for all. So the NHS was introduced, and the NHS guaranteed for everyone in the United Kingdom at least a minimum amount of healthcare. That means that they're getting care if they have a health problem. Something like that. I don't want to be specific about anything. Again, they're giving no examples. A national system of benefits was also introduced to provide social security, so that the population would be protected from the cradle to the grave. So that is an expression, and here they're using quotation marks to say that is an expression. Cradle to the grave means from the cradle. Cradle is the place where little children, infants are sometimes can be in, and it's basically a bed, but specifically for infants or little children, very little children, and it's therefore not 2 meters long, just something like that. And it's often a bit higher, so that the parent can sit next to it, and it says oftentimes, not oftentimes, actually I think most of the times it has not, but it is sometimes that it can be rocked from side to side. So a cradle is the sleeping place and little babies sleep a lot of little children. It's basically bad for children, but they are there in a long time and there are different forms of it. So whatever that means, it's the cradle, it's the bed of little children to the actually, yes, to the grave. And I think I'm not going to explain it in the same way as I tried to explain cradle. I thank you very much, and until next time we will continue. Thank you very much. Until next time.